South Africans are heading to voting stations across the country to verify their details, to register so that they can vote during this voter registration weekend, and so that they're able to vote on the 4th of November when the 2026 local government elections will be taking place. Of course, this is an opportunity for those that are eligible to go and register, to go, as I said, verify their details, update their voting addresses as well. Thousands of voting stations are opened nationwide. This is to ensure that you are on the right path for voting come November the 4th. And for the latest on the Ekurhuleni voter registration, we now cross live to SABC News reporter Nomvuyo Ntanjana. Nomvuyo, good afternoon to you. Tell us where you are and what you have been witnessing since the voter registration window period opened at 8 a.m. this morning.
Well, good afternoon to you, Tabiso, and to the Week-in Review viewers at home. Indeed, this weekend is the last and final voter registration weekend. Basically, the last opportunity or chance, rather, for South Africans to show up and register or verify their details at voting or registration stations, rather, ahead of the upcoming local government elections. I mean, we have seen the IEC basically talking about how well the first weekend of voter registration weekend did in terms of numbers, where almost 3 million South Africans showed up to verify their details. And we also understand that a chunk in that number was basically youth people or young people showing up to register. However, without wasting time, I am in Delport in Ekurhuleni, as you've rightfully mentioned in your intro, in a community, Ward 93, a community informal settlement by the name of Delport. Now I'm going to ask my colleague Nkosi to paint the situation in this community. We understand that roughly 4,000 people stay in this community, and they really struggle in terms of basic services. And I'm going to start with water, because I'm going to paint a situation that I'm seeing in front of me. Water, they really struggle with water. There's 7 taps in this community that each family, or rather taps that are always dry, according to the residents here. And as a result, they rely on a private water tanker that has been outsourced by by Ekurhuleni municipality. This water tanker frequents this area. It's here every day. However, residents argue that the water is not sufficient. We're seeing women there, they're doing their laundry. However, some women, they do their laundry underneath a bridge that reeks of raw sewage. And in terms of sanitation in this area, we understand they rely on mobile toilets, and 5 families basically share one toilet, and it's toilets that are hardly cleaned, as they are supposed to be cleaned at least once a week. However, I am going to bring now into conversation, because if I can ask my colleague to pan to his right, seeing there a group of residents, and we understand, we did speak to a few residents earlier who were basically saying that they do not understand what this weekend is about. When we asked why they are still here, why they haven't gone to register to vote. However, I do have with me one resident. So resident, sir, you did mention to me earlier that at least you have registered to vote.
Yes, I registered. Registered the voter. Ke metse vote di tla hore ke kgone khetha gore hona no mpakatha ho awo happy gore the way re rutse ona mo mkhukhung gore government ha sena taba le rona re ya go re vote re register re lo re kgone o change bophelo wa rona wa ka lebella kwa parking ke traka metsi every day go re utla metsi, and re tsebo re traka e skunu ka mo hare or jwan batho ba palla lo nwa metsi ana ba ka mo hare.
All right, sir, I hear you there, but you said you are registered to vote. You are registered to vote ahead of the upcoming local government elections. What are you hoping to see?
Ke ya go bona go be le change ka mo mkhukhung ka mo zwithu zwinja zwingo dzula zwavhuḓi Auna mdagasi.
All right.
Urgo tambura.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time. There you have it, a resident in this community saying regardless of the issues here, he is registered to vote and he is hoping to see change ahead of the local government elections.